If you want to see the great cultural divide between us and Islam, just do what I did yesterday. I was switching back between the war and spring break. I see all these kids driving from Wisconsin to Daytona, and then you have a busload of suicide bombers from Syria to, Baghdad or wherever the hell they were going. It really is kind of interesting and ironic. Not necessarily laugh out loud. Right, Patrice, let me ask you something. Last week, you said you weren't watching the war. Have you started watching it now?
Absolutely not.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Would you care to add on to that so I don't see you in
I mean, whatever. What? More war stuff?
You do watch the war.
Hey, did you hear about the sheik?
No.
Tell him, Greg.
The what?
About the sheik, yeah, Greg reads. Go ahead.
Yeah, it seems that Patrice and the sheik had an assignation in his tent last week.
Oh.
And,
assignation?
What does that say? That means I like that word, actually.
Thank you, buddy.
Now listen, what has most surprised you about the war? Anybody? Greg.
I think that more people protested before it started, you know what I mean? This isn't exactly Vietnam. Before the thing even got going, there was people out in the street misspelling signs asking me to give Peach a chance. And,
well, I saw a protest start to try to book Martin Sheen and then work their way down from there.
I'm all for the war, but I'm starting to get annoyed because it just seems like the government's telling us that, they're going to be running out and greeting the soldiers with apple pie and love, and that's just not the case. They don't want us there. They don't want us.
Probably falafels and some lamb.
did you really believe that they were going to run out and greet us and gleefully throw down their weapons?
I did.
Now, let me ask you something. If Iraqis came to this country and they were trying to, rid us of our despotic tyrant, would you throw down your stuff and run? Look, I've made falafel.
I'll answer that if you tell me why you got your outfit from the set of Poltergeist 2.
Now listen, hey.
If we're gonna get
That's not necessary. That wasn't necessary.
If we're going to get personal this early, it's going to get real ugly.
Yeah, that's true. He's true. Right. Listen,
A civilized gentleman would like to speak.
Let middle-aged Buddy Holly say what he has to say.
Now listen.
I'm sorry. Listen, I agree with him.
I said in the 50s they shouldn't let Negroes on TV.
Shut up.
All right, you're right.
First of all, let me just say this. Here's how polite of this war we're fighting. Today, they dropped in 120 lawyers. Like military lawyers to make sure we don't bomb the wrong places and everything's on the up and up.
Well, how bad is your life going to suck that you want to be a suicide bomber? I mean, that's actually that's an upswing from where I want to volunteer to, scrap
Jimmy, slow down. And first of all, he just asked about lawyers. Then you just asked about what
I said they dropped a bunch of suicide.
Jimmy, listen to the question. Say it one more time, Colin, would you?
I said they just dropped a bunch of lawyers.
Not suicide bombers prepared. Listen. That's right. Have a sip of calmness.
Jimmy, I did say
just let him relax, Colin. Okay, go ahead.
If I might say, I'm all for dropping lawyers into any wartime situation. In fact, I think the suicide bombers, if I may pick up Mr. Schubert's topic, should strap lawyers to them. There you go. Lawyers go at the same time.
Thanks for the assist. Yeah, thanks for the assist on that one.
I found out.
I like this.
By mistake, I watched 60 Minutes last night.
Yes.
And
did you have someone explain it to you?
Fantastic. Really got it. Good one, Kevin Bacon's uncle. Now, I learned something about some Ayatollah El-Hakim.
Right.
Could you reiterate on him?
Well, the guy was.
I'll give you $22.
Well, no, it's the guy that was. No, it's the guy that they're going to bring in, the Shiite Muslim guy that they killed. Saddam killed all his relatives. Now he's the guy that might come back into power. Is that the guy you're talking about?
That was interesting.
So what do you think about this whole thing? It's kind of like we're going to let the Muslims, extremists, are going to have to run the country.
Well, that's what we did with Saddam Hussein. I mean, we created Saddam Hussein. Now they have another guy to create and put him in his place.
That's right. Why don't you think?
Why do we do that all the time?
Because we do that. Hey, at the time, it's a good idea. You can't.
I'm saying we leave people hanging, man. Why do we leave people hanging like this?
Well, we shouldn't let them hang. But I'm saying the other stuff, everyone's like, oh, you're with dictators. But that's the way it goes. You can't. Everybody. Why is it that only this country is held up to that standard? The rest of the world does hypocritical stuff. I mean, people are like, hey, everyone's against us. Russia, China, Germany, France. Yeah, and they have their own stupid motives, of course. So they act like somehow we're morally reprehensible when, you know, we're just doing our own thing for what's best for us.
We don't leave people hanging, though. We don't leave people hanging. We never leave.
We do.
We've been in Korea for 40 years.
Afghanistan, England thinks right? England thinks I'm looking for help from Greg. England,
Well, you guys are both English.
Yeah, we both go to England quite a bit. Don't travel. The English think we were late for the war or something like that. We never show up.
They're still angry about World War II.
Yeah. But they're doing good because Tony Blair really sells it. You have to admit that.
Yeah, he sells it better than Bush, I think. And I would have approved of Bush pushing us this way if he'd made the same kind of, because Tony Blair did the "I'm not your friend, I'm your leader" speech, and Bush just kept saying weapons of mass destruction over and over again because he learned that short phrase. And also, they can acquit themselves on their feet, the English leaders, man. You see, if you ever watch them do question time with the Prime Minister and stuff, they have to answer to the Parliament every week. And you don't really see Congress grilling Bush over an open fire that often. He kind of comes out, like today he's speaking to the Coast Guard, which is, of course, a very dangerous, seditious liberal group to speak to. So he's taking a chance there, man.
I wish I had something to interject, but
What you're saying is his style of a content, but do you ultimately think the content of Blair/Bush is correct?
I would think that Blair is taking a huge risk because his party can ask him, unlike in this country, his party can ask him to stand down and they can vote him out if they disapprove of what he does.
But somehow you're implying that that's a good method because you go, unlike in this country, like you don't like the democratic process, like somehow.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm impugning the democratic process, Colin.
Well, you're implying when you
This is fantastic. Dueling rednecks. I've never seen. This is brilliant. More.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that he has to actually answer up. And I don't think Bush has had to answer up in 2 years' time, man.
That's right.
He hasn't had to answer to anybody except himself.
What are you kidding me? This whole war is an answer up. In my opinion, it should be like World War II, where FDR would just say, listen, here's the story. Those bombs you heard, we're bombing Germany. You people shut up and mind your business. It's be over in 3 years.
Really? You want everybody to shut up and mind their business?
Yes.
Then why not move to Russia, man? People have to shut up and mind their business.
Would you like Colin Powell to come up to you and go, hey, Greg, I saw your act. Here's what you need to do. I watch, I'm a fan. You need to cut this thing. He doesn't know. You don't know the military.
No, you're right there. I don't know the military,
That's what I'm saying.
The government doesn't know what's best for us, otherwise they wouldn't f*** us over every few years.
So you're not with the war, though. You're not for the war.
Did you really catch that?
Oh my God, I didn't.
Perhaps you'll notice over here, Patrice.
Wow. I'm sorry. I thought that was an AIDS penicillin. I didn't know what this stuff was. This is why I stopped watching the
You
news.
thought that was a Mercedes thing, didn't you?
Yeah, I really did. Or something Jewish. So, all
right, look. War never changes. This is the wrap-up, by the way, so shut it. Oh, look at that. You guys are really my favorite jail couple. I'm serious. But is that...